at least a minimum of 2 plots and above. So you see that in the urban areas, for instance, if you live in Apapa, you will not have space to farm, except you now go into the more, where you have, so that's how it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for responding. We are talking about youths in agriculture today, the role of government. But before we go further into finding out more ideas or whatever you have to say on that topic, I have a question for you. I went through your profile, and you've done so much in agriculture, and you started as a very young person, as a youth. So what was your interest? What motivated you? What gave you the urge to go into agriculture, to even think about agriculture, talk more of now thinking about innovative ways of doing things in agriculture?
Well, my interest in agriculture is from the policy standpoint. It started from the policy standpoint. I saw that we had all the eggheads in agriculture. We had all the researches and all the documents that would move the agriculture sector of our implementation. So, and I saw that the problem was from taking what you have on paper and moving it to the field. And as you know, my background is engineering, where we are trained. Systems are nothing for us. You have micro systems. You take a system, you break it down to the micro components, and it doesn't scatter your brain. We have,
it's not engaging.
It's nothing. So agriculture. When I took documents on agriculture, I saw that why are we not even doing well? 3 million people died during the war. What killed them? Hunger, not bombs. And I read a lot of books about our history production, and then our money, our foreign exchange. Retain it. So we don't sell our raw products out to people that use it to add value to it and come back to sell to us. So that was my interest, and that remains my passion. To see that we grow a next generation or the current generation of people that are self-sufficient in food production. So you can see that the lockdown taught us a lesson. You see the COVID-19 lockdown taught us a lesson. The world shut down, prices started going up, things became scarce. So in anything we do, at least you should not be dependent on the seaport for you to eat food. And so that answers the question, what motivated me?
We had no self-sustenance.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. While you were explaining, you mentioned implementation. So that pushed me to ask you, do you think that they have any role to play in agriculture?
Well, the role of the government should shape the culture of the people, give direction to the people, and create on the coasts and the banks of the River Niger. Government is already announcing and advising and encouraging people living along those areas to move, and preparing emergency shelters to move them. Okay. So you see, that's the role of government. So, but I know there are people that will not move. You have to force them out. You have to actually move them from that place for them to move, because they do not see the danger. The government has seen it. So the role of government in agriculture is to create the policies, give the direction. Like you said, the government has reactivated NALDA, which is the Nigerian Land Development Agency. Government put in place the Anchor Borrowers Program, and put in place all these kind of programs that help people to shape their minds towards agriculture as a business. So the role of government, first of all, is to create the policy, to direct the people towards it, and three, see that the people take advantage of the opportunities that the government is putting in front of them. Unfortunately, our people usually think that the role of government is to carry you and open your mouth and put it inside your mouth. So that's not democracy. You don't force you. So the government should give you gentle encouragement, show you the way, and sell. You see, that's the role of government. Before now, if you plant your rice, you harvest, you process, you go through all that stress. You go to market, they'll say Nka local rice, Nka foreign rice. So now you will have the market to yourself. So what it means is that you should see that opportunity in rice production. And that is why the Enugu state government has even gone a step further to trademark a product called the Coal City Rice. So the Coal City Rice is a brand owned by the state government. The bags were produced, making it very crispy looking bags that can compete with the foreign rice. What's the difference between a rice and a foreign rice? It's the processing and the packaging. So we have the packaging now, we have the brand name good. So all you need to do is ensure that you grow the rice, it's harvested, you process it according to a specific standard. And the standard means that you should not have stones. So the government even went further to distribute destoning machines to the various rice clusters.
But go ahead.
The various rice clusters we have in the state. You know, the state has 5 local governments that are major in rice production, which is Uzowani, that has Adani as the major rice producing belt. Major. You go from left to right as far as your eyes can see is rice. Many people don't know because it's at one corner of the state. We have Isuzu produces rice. We have Eziagu, that's where you find in Bitolo and other communities. You have in Kano East, where you find Uboka, Nkerefi, Nara, they produce rice. Then you go to Aniri, that's another place that produces a lot of rice, Oduma and Nenwe. So the government sent free destoners to the rice processing clusters, the millers. So as you process, you destone. So now the government is, because it's a market, it's a competitive market, the government is helping you leverage on the advantage of the policies and of the banning of importation, so that we can have our rice producers take over this market and stay reliant.
Right now, so far you have said some things that have spoken well for the government.
Oh, thank you.
I want to ask a question. On one of our episodes here, somebody talked about loans, agricultural support, government support in different ways. What you have said has equally favored those who are existing farmers.
Exactly.
We started the program talking about youths and agriculture, then youths in agriculture, then youths with agriculture, whichever way. Now, I won't start farming. I need pepper. If I am going to get this money, is it at a friendly rate? How accessible? What information? It was on this program that I heard for the first time that the NYSC had a grant for people who wanted to go into farming. And according to the guy, it's been existing for 3 years or so, or more than 3 years. So is the government doing well in informing us of these policies? Like you said, the government creates these enabling policies, but if we do not know, we're going to work with existing mindset. Like you said, the difference between Oyibo rice and Nigeria rice in our packaging, some of us, I feel the difference is in our head. They don't make us feel like, say, Oyibo rice might be the best rice, our own no good. So if you package them with better nylon, because I know in my head that it is local rice, it affects my psyche. Now the government has its own part to play in re-informing. It's like a total mind overhauling. Would you say that the government is doing enough to inform us of these grants and these loans?
Well, the government,
especially for the people who are starting, they don't get any farm for backyard.
The government is informing the people, but you notice something I've noticed. And we're talking about the youth now.
Yes.
When the youth goes to the internet, the youth is more interested in all the glams and all the, they might just pass an information without even noticing the past information.
Okay.
There was announcements all over the place for people to participate in the post-COVID recovery funds from Central Bank, NISAL and the rest. I'm sure you must have carried those adverts here, but you ask yourself, how many of our people actually come up to go there and take on it? And that is why my office started what we call the Enugu Agri-Business Hub. And that's where I'm coming from. We just trained about 50 youths right now. I just left there to come here. So what I've seen is that is the mentality, like you say, it's in the mind. I've seen that the youth are more focused on what
Quick money.
yes, quick money, and they want something glamorous. If it's dirty or looks dirty, they don't want to go to it. So the Enugu Agribusiness Hub, what it's doing now is this reorientation, number one, and number two, skills. Giving them skills, training them on how to go about the agribusiness. And number three is also to when that is done, they can now form cooperatives and go to access or request for funding. You can't just start. You want to do fish farming, you just stand up and go and look for loan. My brother, you got a bad boy. You got a bad boy. You need to learn. That's the first step. You need to learn. You go to someone that is already doing it and learn. Because if you don't do that, 1 month the fish don't die. You have to pay. And who will even give you guarantee? Because the banks will need guarantee from maybe you, Lyrics. You say
somebody who's experienced.
Say Lyrics, come and sign. You will lose sign for someone that doesn't
know how to plant.
You're sure that money is you that will pay. So that's what the Enugu Agribusiness Hub is doing right now. So, but let me even talk further about this the agricultural value chain. You see that the agricultural value chain is such that you have the production, the people that produce, that cultivate. You have the processing. You have the packaging,
marketing.
You have the marketing. And when we talk of youth, go to farm, go to agriculture. What comes to their head is production. Yes, like Winnie, I saw you went to
San Carlos.
You went to San Carlos Farms. Okay, I'm sure you were taking pictures. You were taking pictures. Did you ask yourself?
It wasn't just pictures.
Okay, now did you ask yourself, how do I stand to benefit from this farm? So the youth do not really. The urban youth, it's good we draw a distinction. The urban youth do not really.
Not all urban youths.
Let him finish. I get platform.
The urban youth do not really want to come into the planting part, but they can come into the processing part.
How do you mean?
Processing the products from the farm. They can come into the packaging. They can come into the marketing, and that's what the orientation we're giving in the agribusiness hub. So if you look at rice after the whole planting and waiting for 4 months to harvest, it comes to a warehouse, the paddy. It has to be milled. That becomes an opportunity for somebody to participate in agriculture, in the milling part. There's this young man I know, engineer, okay? I saw him. What he does is milling, destoning, polishing. Do you know you can even participate in only polishing? You can even participate in only destoning. That's, you just get a destoning machine, come and mount it near new market, and people that have gone to Adan or Nkerefi to buy rice will come to your destoning office and just remove stones from the rice. Finish. They pay you 200 naira per bag. Do the math, and you should be sure that somewhere like New Market sells nothing less than 6,000 bags of rice every month, minimum. It should be more, I guess. So that is on the processing part. Then the packaging part, you can come into packaging the rice in small bags and selling. So there are some people that will not have money for 50 kg of rice, but they can afford 5 kg of rice. That's an opportunity. And then there's marketing. Just like I said, Winnie, you went to San Carlos. Do you know that the pineapples you saw there, just because your name is Winnie, you call it Winnie Fresh?
8888